Hi everyone. We are going through line by line NCERT series, and now we are covering bryophytes. So in bryophytes, we made an introduction video, and then we spoke about liverworts in bryophytes. Now we're gonna go through mosses, and then we will practice the whole bryophytes in the next in this video in MemoNeet app. Okay. So in Mosses, this paragraph is kind of confusing. So I will use some external image to explain this process too. So the predominant stage of the life cycle of a moss is gametophyte, which consists of two stages. So they're saying this a life cycle of a moss always predominant means mostly. So mostly in a moss, it is in the gametophyte stage. So this gametophyte stage means whichever produce gametes, male and female gametes. Right? It's simple. So which consists of two stages. So the first stage is the Protonema stage, which develops directly from a spore. So here they've started from the beginning, right? So I'm going to show you an image. There you go. So this image. So see Protonema stage. So look at this, but this diagram starts from here. So start from here. Okay. So now you see the first stage is the Protonema stage, which develops directly from a spore. So you could see that the Protonema stage develops from a spore. Okay. And then it is a creeping, green, branched, and frequently filamentous stage. So they're talking about the Protonema stage. So if you look at the Protonema stage, it is creepy, it is green, and it is filamentous, right? It does not have a lot of leaves. It is filamentous. So it is creeping, green, branched, and frequently filamentous stage. So the second stage is a leafy stage, which develops from the secondary protonema as a lateral bud. So they're talking about the leafy stage. So this is the leafy stage. Okay, so it develops from the secondary protonema, which is the cusp. They're not detailedly giving this, but this is the secondary protonema. It arises from the secondary protonema as a lateral bud, like a bud, right? And so the second stage is leafy stage, which develops from the secondary protonema as a lateral bud, and they consist of upright, slender axis bearing spirally arranged leaves. So this diagram. So this is the first stage protonema, and this is the second stage protonema, and the second stage. The both of this is protonema stage only, and after that, this secondary stage is a leafy stage. See, it has a lot of leaves. Leafy stage. It arises from the secondary stage of the protonema as a lateral bud. Okay, and also it has an axis, and it also has the leaves spirally arranged. You can see the leaves are spirally arranged. So we'll read this once again for you to understand. It's saying the first stage is the protonema stage, the second stage is the leafy stage, right? In the first stage of protonema stage, it develops from a spore. We saw that in the diagram. And the protonema stage is a creeping, green, branched, and frequently filamentous stage. I showed that in the diagram. And the second stage is the leafy stage, which develops from the secondary protonema, which is the cusp, as a lateral bud. They consist of upright slender. Now they're talking about the leafy stage. So it consists of upright slender axis bearing spirally arranged leaves. They're attached to a soil through multicellular and branched rhizoids. So this is the parameter of bryophyte itself. We read in the first paragraph itself that they're attached to the substratum. Now here it is soil, but any substratum through multicellular and branched rhizoid. So you can see that here in the diagram as well. They have in the leafy stage they have rhizoids. So this is first stage of protonema, this is second stage of protonema, this is leafy stage. So you need to make sure this, and this is the spore from where the protonema stage arises. So if you remember these four images in your mind, it would be easy for you to remember this whole paragraph. Okay, so this stage BS, this stage, the leafy stage BS the sex organs. So we're gonna see that in the later. So the vegetable reproduction in mosses is by fragmentation and budding. In the secondary protonema, in sexual reproduction, the sex organs antheridia and archegonia are produced at the apex of the leafy shoots. So I could show that here. So this is the secondary stage, right? In this stage, the both Anthridium and Archegonium are produced in this stage. At the apex, I mean in the center here. Okay, so in this region, both Anthridium and Archegonium are produced. So we will read this again. Vegetative reproduction in mosses is by fragmentation and budding in the secondary protonema. So you know the secondary protonema stage is this stage. This. So in this stage, it will be budding or fragmentation. It can asexual reproduction can occur in the secondary protonema stage. And in sexual reproduction, the sex organs and the argonia are produced at the apex of the leafy shoots. Apex of the leafy shoots. So this is the leafy shoots, and in the apex, the uh, sexual reproduction organs are the sex organs are produced. So after fertilization, the zygote develops into a sporophyte. This is simple. It happens in all bryophytes that after the anthrozoites go and fusion with the egg, then it uh, forms a sporophyte consisting of food seta and capsule. So the same here, food seta and capsule. So that is given in this diagram very clearly. So you can see here Anthridium and Argonium are there. The Anthridium sends anthrozoites. Here it is called spermatozoite, but it's called anthrozoites. And then the Archegonium has egg, produces egg, and then they both combining together will form sporophyte. So this sporophyte has the capsule, the fruit, and the seta. The fruit, seta, and the capsule, and then that produces spores. So that is given in this stage itself. The sporophyte is in mosses more elaborate than in liverworts, so they're telling that the capsule contains spores. Yeah, that's true. The spores are formed after meiosis. That's also true. That's what happened in all bryophytes. The spores are formed after meiosis. The mosses have an elaborate mechanism of. So this line is noted. So they're saying that the spore dispersal, I mean the dispersal of the spores from the capsule, has an elaborate mechanism which is not given here. So we don't have to worry about this. Okay, but still it is the same process again. It's only we have some extra terminologies here. That's it. But still, it is the same process. Both in liverworts and mosses, kind of. But these two stages are the only difference. But here, totally, if you talk about in vegetative reproduction, it happens in secondary protonema. But in sexual reproduction, it is the same. Unlike like just the location and all those stuff differs, but still, sorghums, antheridia, and archegonia are produced at the apex of the leafy shoot, and after fertilization the zygotes develop into sporophyte, and that consists of food set and capsule, which is here as well, same. And then the sporophyte is more elaborate than in liverworts. This could be one important point. More elaborate in the sense more bigger in size. So the capsule contains spores. Yeah, that's what happens here as well. Spores are produced from the capsule, and the spores are formed after meiosis. Yes, after meiosis the spores are produced. Yeah, the same. And the mosses have elaborate mechanism of spore dispersal, which is they haven't explained the mechanism, but they're saying that the spore dispersal from the capsule has an elaborate mechanism. And the common example of mosses are funaria, polytrichium, and sphagnum. Yeah, that's it. And for liverworts, they spoke about marcantia. Other than that, I don't see any examples here. So let's go and practice some questions on bryophytes from MemoNeet app. So I'm gonna open MemoNeet. Let's see how many questions I get right. I don't think I'll get everything right, but we will try our best. We have studied line by line NCERT. I guess we should be able to answer most questions. So okay, it's diversity in the living world, the plant kingdom, and the bryophytes. Okay. So bryophytes includes liverworts and mosses. Cool. Father of bryology is. I don't think this is there in NCERT, but I think it is just an additional question for the knowledge. So we will check. The correct answer is Hedwig. Okay, so we'll just know it. It's outside of NCERT, so but still it is important. It might come in the exam. It might not be outside NCERT, but it should be somewhere else. But still, so bryophytes mostly grow in moist, shaded areas. Okay, so bryophytes are called amphibians of the plant kingdom because they depend on water for sexual reproduction. Okay, so plant body of bryophyte is more differentiated than that of algae. We see that bryophytes are thalloids. Okay, I mean they're not, they have stem like, leaf like, and root like structures, but still they're not completely differentiated, but they're more differentiated than that of algae. And the plant body of bryophytes is thallus like and prostate erect and attached to substratum by unicellular or multicellular rhizoids. Yeah, rhizoids are root like structures. So match. So this also seems to be not from the passages that we learned, but I'm just gonna give some random. This is also important, but we won't cover this in line by line NCERT. That will not be helpful. Okay, we see Hepaticopsoda is sporella, and Anthocerotopsida is Notothyllus, and Bryopsida is Funaria. I guess it will come in further passages. I am also reading with you people, so I don't know where it is. The plant body of all bryophytes are gametophyte, haploid, and thallus-like, having plant body of all bryophytes are gametophyte, haploid, and thallus-like, having uh, no root, no leaf. Yeah, they don't have root stem. They have root structure, stem-like structure, and leaf-like, but they don't have defined root stem and leaf. In gametophyte, the bryophyte produces biflagellate gametes in dash and produces ovum in dash. Yeah, so biflagellate gametes are produced in antheridium and archegonium. Okay, this is a simple question. And choose the correct option. In bryophytes, sexual reproduction is oogamous type. Sex organs are unicellular in algae, fungi, but multicellular in bryophytes to angiosperms. Archegonium is flask shaped. All the above. Yeah, in bryophytes, the sexual reproduction is oogamous type because the anthrozoids are motile, right? They are flagellate. They move to the single egg, large egg that is produced by the archegonium. So they are oogamous type. This is true. Sex organs are unicellular in algae and multicellular in bryophytes. Bryophytes, we haven't studied angiosperms yet, but they are multicellular in bryophytes. That's true. Archegonium is flask shaped, but that is also true. It's all the above. Okay, sure. Saprophytic moss is, I don't know. I'll just go to the next question. So, what is the prominent phase in the life cycle of the bryophytes? The prominent phase is the gametophyte. We studied that in moss. The predominant stage in case of a moss is a gametophyte. So, gametophytic generation is dominant in, yeah, again, it is bryophytes. It's just the same question asked in a different way to make us remember. Choose the incorrect statement for bryophytes. The zygote does not undergo meiosis immediately, so that is true. We read that because the zygote then converts into a sporophyte. It does not undergo meiosis. Zygote produces multicellular body called a sporophyte, which is true. Bryophytes are of little economic importance. That is also true. Bryophyte are of great economic importance. I guess this is the wrong statement. Yeah. So which is the correction about bryophyte? Sporophyte is multicellular, not free living, but attached with plant body gametophyte for nourishment from it. This is true. Some cells of the sporophyte undergo meiosis to produce haploid spores. This is also true. Haploid spores germinate to produce gametophyte. All the three are true. Yes. So sphagnum is used as packing material for transpiration of living material because of its water holding capacity. Both A and C, acidic nature, as it does not undergo decay. Okay, we didn't read this in NCERT, but still we can learn this now. Both water holding capacity and acidic nature, as it does not undergo decay. Or I might have forgotten. As I said, we are learning this together, so I could make some mistakes as well. So sphagnum is also called as peat moss. That's true, because sphagnum produces something called as peat, which is in turn used for packaging materials because of its water retaining capacity to store living organisms. That's what it says. Sphagnum provides a peat. fuel. Mosses are of great ecological importance. I guess I'm just getting confused here with no. It's all fine. Okay, mosses are of great ecological importance because of its contribution in ecological succession. Yes, soil erosion, both. Right. So the mosses which form dense extensive mats on soil prevent soil erosion. Simple. So the term bryophyta was coined by I don't know. We'll just skip this question. So bryophytes are not characterized by well-developed root system and vascular tissue. Alternation of generation, presence of bryophytes have chlorophyll, have rhizoids. They don't have well-developed root system. Yeah, bryophytes show no zygotic meiosis immediately, but sporophytic meiosis. Yeah, that's true. They don't have embryo formation. No sporic meiosis. Sporophytic and no immediately. No zygotic meiosis immediately, but sporophytic meiosis. Yeah, this is true. In bryophytes, we know the zygote does not undergo meiosis, but it produces sporophyte, and then the sporophyte undergoes meiosis to produce haploid spores. That in turn forms gametophytes. Asexual reproduction in liverworts is by fragmentation of dash or by formation of dash. So it can be by fragmentation of thalli or by gemma. Gemma are the cup-like structures. A true moss is that gametophyte has Protonema stage developed from spore, which is frequently filamentous. Yeah, this is true. Gametophytes has leafy stage with multicellular and branched. Yeah, it has a leafy stage, branched rhizoids. Yeah, also have spiral arranged leaves. Yeah, both A and B is true. We have read that. The funaria requires water because fertilization occurs in water only. Yeah, that's what is true. Yeah, because the antheridium generates anthrozoites only in water. So that's why. That is general for all bryophytes. So sphagnum is also called as peat moss because of goes in acidic marshes and helps in peat formation. Yeah. So which one is correct about Marchantia? So Marchantia is a liverwort. So plant body is monoecious or dioecious. Sporophyte is differentiated into food seta and capsule. Yeah, sporophyte is differentiated into food seta and capsule. That's the correct answer. Spore germinates too. Yes, also correct. Plant body is also correct. So I guess it's all the above. Which among the following isn't a moss? I think Funaria is a moss, Polytrichium is a moss, and Sphagnum is a moss as well. Sphagnum is not a moss. Sphagnum is a liverwort. Oh, nest moss belongs to pteridophyte. Okay, it's a good thing to learn. See, the questions are in MemoNeet. The questions are combined with. There's some neat questions will be when you see NEET. See, it confused me as well, but now I got it wrong. Next time I won't get it wrong. See, it has the word moss in it, so you might think it is a moss, but this occurs in pteridophytes. Okay, we'll go to the next question. Asexual reproduction in liverworts takes place by by fragmentation of thalli or by gemma formation. That's true. Don't get confused. In mosses, gametophyte has two stages. What are these two stages? Protonema stage and leafy stage. It's an easy question. So Protonema is a creeping green branch stages that develop directly from a spore. I showed you guys that image. Oh, all the three are true, right? It is a stage of you have to be very careful. So see, it is a stage in gametophytic generation. I thought this is the right and I clicked it, but I know this is correct. And also produces lateral bud which forms leafy plant body. I showed you that another stage, right? Protonema second stage. Okay. So in mosses, asexual reproduction occurs by fragmentation and budding in the secondary protonema. This is true. And the sporophyte in mosses is it is more elaborated than that in liverworts. We read that exactly. Spores dispersal in mosses occurs by an elaborate mechanism which is not explained in the book. So in bryophytes, meiosis occurs in at the capsule, right? The spore mother cells in the capsule. Yeah, from where the spores are produced. True. So we learned that in both liverworts and mosses, the last few lines. So multicellular sporophytic phase is expected in the life cycle. Multicellular sporophytic phase is expected in the life cycle of bryophytes. So you are given an unknown plant to study in the laboratory. You find that it has chlorophyll, no xylem. Its multicellular sex organs are enclosed in a layer of jacket cells. Its gametophytic stage is free living. The plant body belongs to bryophyte, obviously. So all of these are characteristics of bryophytes. I think it has some error here, or we got confused. See, the multicellular organs are enclosed in a layer of jacket cells. So this is not a quality of bryophyte. So that's the reason why we got it wrong. Okay, we will talk about this in the next session. I will research about this. Okay, so place the following plants in order, beginning with those first appeared on Earth and progressing upwards recently in time. So algae would be the first. I guess second would be moss and third would be ferns. Yeah, obviously. A moss sperm moves by means of two flagella. They are biflagellate. True. The embryonic development in bryophyte takes place in sporangia. I don't think it's sporangia. Embryonic development. No, it's an archegonium. The female sex of Archegonium is flash-shaped vesicle. The anthrozoids are released into water. Archegonium further development takes place. Okay. The egg is in the archegonium, so the embryonic development, that is the sporophyte development, takes place in archegonium. Okay, this is a good thing to understand. We will not make this mistake in the revision stage. So in alternation of generations, the sporophyte generation is dash and the gametophyte generation is dash. It's n comma 2 n comma 1. This is also, I guess it comes in some other place in the chapter. The sporophyte is diploid and gametophyte is haploid. Okay, all good. We have read this. True. Sporophyte is multicellular and gametophyte is haploid. It has only 2 chromosomes, but the sporophyte is diploid. I think it has diploid cells. Okay, identify the diagram. This diagram is Marchantia. It has I guess this is an antheridium. So Marchantia male thallus. True. And for the diagram and math, A is a female thallus. I guess A is Archegonia 4, and this is Marchantia female thallus. So I for the diagram. So this diagram is, I think it's confusing. It looks like a moss. It looks like Sphenaria. I think it's Sphagnum. It's Sphenaria. Okay. I got it wrong. I think should be Sphagnum. Yeah, true. That one is. I just got confused. Okay, we have finished revising in MemoNeet app. I know that I got some questions wrong, but I want you guys to understand that I'm just reading with you here, so I'm prone to make mistakes. So we're gonna look at those mistakes and practice together so that we can excel in NEET 2022. So these mistake question will come again in our 7-level revision in MemoNeet app. So that time we will get them right. Okay, so just see how MemoNeet app has every line by line all the questions. So it literally covers the whole bryophytes when you answer those questions, the key points especially. So it will, like when you solve more MCQs from the same topic, that will actually help you retain everything. So we have gone through bryophytes, we went through algae, and the next video will be combined revision of both algae and bryophytes. So that's gonna be interesting because I think we would have forgotten the algae part already.